It's been a very difficult process, but I think I've finally come to a place where I can admit that I have a problem. I am addicted to gear. I love equipment. The tools of my trade. The instruments of my work. I don't have that much equipment, but I have way more than I should when compared to how much I'm making from this business. My problem is that I see something, I like it, and I have to get it. I'm not talking about like expensive cameras. I have 2 cameras and that's it. I'm talking about like smaller things. It's easy to rationalize me buying gear because this is what I do. The thing is, I can do what I do with way fewer things. Usually my argument is, oh, if I get this thing, I'm gonna be able to do the work way more efficient and faster. That is not true because usually it's something extra that I'm adding to my workflow. And is it worth it? Yes, because I'm doing stuff. I enjoy it. So in 2025, I have decided not to buy any more equipment, but instead to be grateful for what I already have. And the first step I'm taking in this new path of gear gratitude is to show you what I do have, because when you are grateful for stuff, the universe gives you more stuff, right? Right?
I've been buying way too much gear.
The first piece of gear I'm gonna talk about is my camera. Today I am grateful for my Sony A7 IV. I love this camera for many different reasons, but the main one is the fact that it is the perfect hybrid between a video camera and a photo camera. It does 4K at 60 frames per second, but it also does raw images at 30 megapixels. And for someone like me who shoots events where I have to do video and images at the same time, it is so efficient to just flick between the video and the image modes and get exactly what I need. I'm a little bit old school and I never actually trusted autofocus until I got this camera. The autofocus really does a great job. It has face priority and it like locks onto subjects like a twink to a sugar daddy. When I got it, I wanted to have 2 lenses. So rather than get one of the expensive Sony lenses, I got a Sigma 24-7 and a Tamron 70-180. Now I went for this particular lens because the Sony A7 IV has a feature where you can crop in on the sensor. So basically you go from full frame to APS-C, which is a 1.5 times crop. So you are zooming in. Now think about this, 180 millimeters times 1.5. Alexa, what is 180 times 1.5?
180 times 1.5 is 270.
So basically, the maximum focal length on this goes from 180 millimeters to 270. And that is a proper telephoto lens, which is perfect for events when I don't really want to get close to people. So I just like hide somewhere and take pictures of everyone. Sneaky. Sneaky. I am grateful for my Panasonic GH5s, which I feel was highly underrated. I got this in 2018 and I still use it till today. Now, one thing I always found strange about it is the fact that you can shoot 4K at 400 megabits per second at 10 bits. This is in 2018, while the Sony A7 IV can only shoot 200 megabits per second in 10 bits. I know it can shoot higher than that with a special SD card, but you know, those are expensive. Today, I am grateful for all my microphone systems. I have the Rode Wireless Go, the Rode Wireless Pro, and the most recent purchase that I made, and probably the last purchase I will make for a long time, is the Sennheiser MKE 600 shotgun mic, which is here. So I went down a rabbit hole in the last few weeks where I realized that I don't know as much as I should about sound, about audio. I always thought that having a lav mic attached close to the mouth and the chest is always going to be the best sound quality. But then I started getting dissatisfied with the sound quality that I was getting with my YouTube videos and with some of my client videos. And I started looking into it and I realized that it's not necessarily about having a lav mic or a shotgun mic. It's more about the bit depth that we're recording at. That's a little bit complicated and I'm gonna make a video about it. But having a shotgun mic is better quality than a lav mic if it is positioned correctly. I've always been hesitant to use shotgun mics because I don't have someone to hold a boom and also all the cables and everything. But then I realized that I could harness the power of my Rode Wireless Pro and connect the shotgun mic into it, and voila. One thing I like about the Rode Wireless Pro is that the moment you take the receiver out of its casing, it starts recording. So even if I'm not recording with the camera, this has an internal recorder that captures everything at 32-bit float, which means that you no longer have to worry about microphone levels in this recorder. The audio that gets transmitted to my camera is still the basic 16-bit audio. The difference between 32-bit float audio and 16-bit is the fact that you can't clip. Let's say you're shooting an interview and suddenly someone screams something really loud. The sound on your camera is gonna be distorted and unusable, but you can go into the transmitter and pull out the file and get that portion where it is usable, because 32-bit audio basically has a very high dynamic range, so it doesn't clip. Using this with the Sennheiser MKE 600 is like a match made in heaven, because it's better sound quality and 32-bit float for when I really want to get the maximum quality out of my recording. So here's something that I really like and use quite often, and I'm very grateful for. It is a color checker from Datacolor, and you can use it to make sure you have precise colors in your shot. So if I'm using the Panasonic GH5s and the Sony A7 IV at the same time, I'm just gonna flash this in front of each camera, and in Premiere Pro, I'm gonna use a plugin that will use these colors as reference and set everything to be the right tone. You can also use the back to set white balance, and it's quite useful when you need to match different cameras or different shots with different white balances. This has saved me a lot of times on shoots where things were very unpredictable. Sitting right on top of the A7 IV is my Feelworld Monitor 4K Ultra Bright. It's not a super expensive monitor. It's way cheaper than any of the Atomoses, but I feel that it is just as bright. My key light today is the Switch Lite Mat. It is foldable, it's ultra light, as in not heavy, and it goes from tungsten to daylight. It's a soft light that can be softened even more with diffusion, and I have it with me almost at every shoot. Now, the rays of sunlight that you see in the back and what you can see here, of course, they aren't real. They're made by a Godox Litemons 150D Daylight Edition that has a projector attachment screwed onto it. That projector attachment has little shapes in it, and it basically focuses the light through the shapes, and you get these shadows. The shadows can be as soft or as hard as I want them to be. And I think it's actually my favorite thing that I've bought lately. Let's see how it looks if I shut it off. It's like there's no magic. Something's missing. Lovely. Right behind me is one of the first lights that I ever bought. I got it in 2018. It was 400 euros. It is super bright, super powerful, and I use it for background stuff. So right now, it's kind of lighting up the background, and it would look a bit empty. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. Coming from above and behind me is a LED panel. I have 3 of these. I don't use them that much anymore on professional shoots because they are just bulky and I have bigger, more powerful lights, but they do come in handy. That one, for example, is gonna be there permanently, so I don't have to worry about setting up a stand for like a contour light for myself when I do YouTube videos. And now, the big stuff. The big stuff is always light modifiers. This here is the Neewer 85cm parabolic softbox. It's great for interview shots. It's great for talking head videos. The only problem is that it is huge. I got this size because the difference between this and the 50 or 60 centimeter version was so little. I just had to get the bigger one because when it comes to lighting, size does matter. Because it's so wide, the light from this modifier really has a way of wrapping around your subject, and the shadows are really soft. Believe it or not, that's not actually the biggest light modifier that I have. I've got a strip light, which is almost as tall as I am, and I have a photo umbrella, which is about as wide as my arms can go. And I use those for photography. The umbrella, for example, works by shooting the light into the reflective surface of the umbrella, having it bounce back through one layer of diffusion and then through another layer of diffusion before hitting the subject and making all the shadows really nice and soft. I really love working with this light when I have the space. Whenever I'm working, there is a bunch of things that I always have with me. Gloves. So there's this weird thing about me. I lose heat through my palms, which means that I am constantly sweating. Apparently, you can fix that with Botox, but if I were getting Botox, it wouldn't be for my palms. I find that simply wearing gym gloves is a way cheaper option, and I just have better grip on everything I'm doing. A multi-tool. You never know what you might need to unscrew, what you might need to break, and it's just good to have something that does everything. Duct tape, not gaffer tape. Gaffer tape you should have for doing the things you need gaffer tape for. But duct tape has saved my career countless times when I just needed to tape something up and like have it not move. A lint-free cloth for cleaning my lenses and a douche air press thingy. ND filter. You never know when you're gonna need to reduce the level of light that's going into your lens. I love this one from K&F Concept because it has this orange thing with which you can dial in how many stops of light you are cutting from reaching your sensor. Sensor? I don't even know her.
I shoot almost everything with at least a 1/8 Pro Mist diffusion filter on my lens. This creates a very subtle glowy effect on the highlights and helps to balance out the digital sharpness of modern cameras.
Batteries. I quit going to shoots with my charging station and instead I got a bunch of extra batteries. So having 6 to 10 batteries on location means I know that I'm not gonna have to recharge. However, if I do want to recharge, this model from BlueMax has a little USB-C port here and you can recharge these easily using a phone charger. It's like having the best of both worlds. I'm not carrying my charging station with me, but I can charge a battery or two if I really need to. V-mount batteries. I've got this brand Miyadi and I got it because it was cheap, but it's good, it lasts, and I have no complaints.
I just want to add that these pieces of gear that I've talked about are the big things. They are the essential things, kinda. I do need them. Where I have issues is the smaller bits and bobs, the accessories, the little things that I see on Amazon and I'm like, I gotta get this because it'll make me work faster or better. But the thing is, it's not really about the money I spend. It's more about why I feel the need to keep buying these things. On the surface, I tell myself that each new item is going to add something to my work. It's gonna make the work better. But when I look deeper, it's most likely because I don't think that my work is good enough. And beneath that, it's not even about work. You know, it's about the fact that there is this theme in my life where I feel that I am not enough, so I try to compensate by trying to do more. I am constantly looking for ways to evolve instead of working on accepting that I am worthy of where I already am. So next time you want to buy something, before asking yourself if it is worth it, remind yourself that you are worth it, and then make a decision from that place. Because sometimes you really do need to buy the thing, and other times you may just need to learn how to use what you already have. But what is certain is that 100% of the time, you are enough, regardless of your level, and even if you suck at something. Because at the end of the day, it's not the tools that make the furniture. It's the guy from IKEA who delivers it and then assembles it. Wisdom. You're welcome.
I made a YouTube video. I put it on my channel. I told my viewers, I said that I got a problem. You see, I've been buying way too much gear. And I don't wanna buy no more this year. And they said to me, shut up and end this video. They said to me, your engagement's going down.
I just made that up.